Hey everybody, Greg Poole here at Bowjunky Media, bowjunkymedia.com. We are at the 2020 OPA here at the Bowfest event on Mount Delac. This weekend's coverage is brought to you by Gas Bowstrings, joined by esteemed colleague Donnie Thacker. Thanks for joining me today, Donnie.
It's a privilege.
Well,
Appreciate being here.
I'm sure you'd like to be out there shooting, but I appreciate you sticking around and commentating with me today.
Yep, I appreciate it.
All right, so first up we have the Amateur Bowhunter class, and obviously scores have been turned back to 0. So we got Matt Raber, Lucas Johnson, Justin Ertl, Brooke Neva, and Dan Bems. So these guys are going to come out here. These targets ain't no gimmies.
There's no forgiveness here. They're everything stretched out. You got Bigfoot at 91.5 yards, and the dots are not very big. This isn't a running dot. This is
correct. Absolutely. So basically, folks, what's going to happen here is the top seed is going to get to choose where they're going to start positions 1 through 5. Now, obviously, a lot of folks would be like, well, picking where where you start is cool, but they're not picking based on where they start. They're picking on where they end.
That's correct. You can kind of get an idea of what everybody else does and what you have to do.
Right. Like you don't want to end on Bigfoot.
You don't want those nerves.
No, absolutely not. You would want to get a couple shots under your belt. You would want to kind of get them nerves out of the way a little bit. You know, maybe hit Bigfoot about the middle of the round, but you definitely don't want to be doing that.
Yeah, looking at this range they have set for them, slide uphill, off camber, crosswind. It's not going to take a lot, is it?
No, it's not. And you know, a lot of these guys now, obviously, this is for you NFAA spotty guys. This is pretty much going to be your bow hunter freestyle class. So you know, these guys came out and shot the cool thing about OPA, Donnie, is that not only were these courses unbelievable this weekend, everybody shot the same course. So whether it was A or B, they shot the same stuff. They didn't move stakes. They didn't do any of that. So, all right, here we go. These guys, 1 minute starts now. These guys are gonna get them done. It's always interesting to, you know, see some of these other classes. Justin Ertl got that one gone pretty quick. So on that, looks like that Gazelle had some extra hard impact there with the head coming off. All right, here we go. This is gonna be pretty interesting right here.
So no one went for 14 on this first round here.
Right, I did not see any. We got Dane coming up here on the heavy. All right, let's see. 10.
Let him hear it, guys.
So there you go. I mean, on a shot like this, getting a 10 right out of the gate, that's what you need to do.
That is. It was a target. It's probably not where he chose to start. You know, that's the closest one. So
right.
Who do we got in the Gazelle there?
An 8 on the Gazelle.
With an 8? Who's the 8, Mike? That was Brooke Neva.
Brooke Neva with the 8.
Neva.
There we go.
Mr. Raber with a 5.
Raber with a 5. That's gonna create a hole to climb out of right there.
That hurts. Yep.
Justin Ertl on the wolf, and we're gonna have a 10. That's actually not a bad shot. I mean, that's a tough target to start on. That wolf's out there, a poke at 67. All right, here we go.
Lucas.
Obviously, getting a 10 on the Bigfoot's going to be a win in these conditions.
Big deal, yes.
With a 8.
8.
An 8
on Bigfoot. All right, let's go to the Bowjunky leaderboard and see how things are getting started. All right, everybody, Greg Poole here, Bowjunky Media. We're back for the second arrow here at the 2020 OPA at Bowfest on Mount Delac. This weekend's coverage is brought to you by Gas Bowstrings here with AAE and Easton Pro staffer Donnie Thacker, These guys came out. We had 1.5 out there, Donnie, but the couple of guys got the 10s they needed to get started.
Yeah, still anybody's ball game right here, and looks like maybe some of the nerves are gone, and we're gonna see some good arrows.
All right, here we go. Now, for a lot of these guys, especially out to the 91 yard and the 67 yard stuff, these guys are shooting. You know, setups that aren't necessarily. You know, most of them are shooting sliders anyway. So, while they have the shorter stabilizers, this is not necessarily a 3-pin type rig.
So there's no restriction on lenses. Those guys can shoot a lens.
Looks like they're using scopes in the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Back out there on the heavy. They're looking at this one hard.
Hey, yeah, they're taking a second look. This might be. I can't tell if they're looking for a 10 or a 12 or 8 or 10.
Right. 12 for Brooke,
Great
and
shot.
there's our first bonus ring of the shoot off right there.
Gentlemen, hold your spots.
All right, here we go. Raver on the Gazelle
Yeah, solid.
with a 10. And look, in a shoot off like this, Donnie, especially with these nerves, and these guys are not used to shooting off on camera and all that stuff. They're basically, at this point, hitting a bonus ring is truly a bonus.
It is.
And another 10.
Lucas on that snarling wolf.
Out there at 67 yards and a 10.
And
So
then-
at this point, especially with these guys shooting, these rigs in front of everybody, it's really just about mitigating any mistakes.
That is. Yep. Let's,
And because everybody went back to 0, I mean,
Dang, what'd you shoot down there?
somebody's game that just ups the
Yeah.
pressure. I mean, 5.
oh, a 5 on Bigfoot. That's going to hurt. Let's go to the Bowjunky leaderboard and see how things are shaking out. All right, everybody, Greg Poole here. We're back at the 2020 OPA at Bowfest on Mont. This is the third arrow of the Amateur Bowhunter class. Here with Easton AAE Pro staffer Donnie Thacker. These guys have been not too bad. I mean, obviously, we just saw 5 on Bigfoot, but for the most part, these guys are shooting the center 10s. We do have one bonus ring right now, but coming down to these last couple arrows, guys are going to have to make a move because everybody went back to 0.
That's right. It's a tight game. It's not going to take a lot here.
Keeping a running total. I'm sure you guys have seen the big scoreboard. Sorry about that.
All right, here we go. Mike Pollard out there.
You've noticed there's no umbrellas here. We got everybody, the sun's in everybody's face right
Yep.
here. I mean, this is.
Absolutely. No umbrellas here at the OPA. All right, here we go. This is your. There we go. All right, these guys are.
There's going to be some moves here.
Oh, yes, absolutely. We got a low one on the Gazelle. Yeah, it
The
looks like
wolf was a tough shot.
low one on the Wolf. A lot of these guys, coming into something like this, Donnie, it's really about, it's really just kind of about, cruising along, especially with all the scores back to 0. Nobody here is really going to be, for the most part, lighting it up so far.
That's correct.
10
Yep.
for Brooke.
And
Hey,
10
that's a
for
win
Brooke
there.
on Bigfoot. Absolutely.
Great shot.
I mean, let's be honest. Regardless of what class it is today, I think damn near anybody's going to be happy with a 10 on the Bigfoot, except for maybe Tim Gillingham.
I agree. Tim actually showed out today.
A lot of the people in the audience know this, since that's already a common knowledge when you're a tournament archer. But those of you who are just out here having fun, they're having to see what they have to go for.
Dane with a 5.
Dane with a 5. That one's going to hurt right there.
That's 2 5s in a row for Dame.
Yeah,
He's
that's
got
pretty
work
much
to
going to
do.
be a wrap.
Yep.
As well as see what the next guy's doing.
All right, here we
see
go.
what the next move is.
It's easy to lose your spot there.
All in
And
1
a
minute.
10.
We got a 10 down there. For Lucas.
10 for Lucas.
We got a horn blown somewhere. on the Gazelle.
All right, here we go. And an 8
An 8 for
on the
Justin.
Gazelle. Justin Ertl with an 8. That's going to close that gap a little bit. He was actually leading it even there for a hot minute.
Out on that pig.
Looks like we may have a bonus string here on the pig.
And a 12.
Good shot, Matt.
Made the javelina pay.
Matt Raber with a bonus ring, 12. Let's go to the Bowjunky leaderboard and see how things are shaking out. Everybody, Greg Poole here. We're back at the 2020 OPA at Bowfest on Mont. This weekend's coverage brought to you by Gas Bowstrings, joined by Easton AAE Pro staffer Donnie Thacker. I know, Donnie, you'd much rather be out there preparing to shoot this event, but certainly appreciate you hanging out with me. I'll tell you what, as much as there was a little bit of storm that was threatening us earlier, the weather's
Gentlemen, are you
absolutely
ready?
turned out phenomenal
It's
this
been
weekend.
awesome. This is the best OPA event we've had. Great weather, great course.
So let's see what we got here. These guys are, you know, obviously this is a Bowhunter style stabilizer rig, but they are shooting slider sights, so obviously shooting lenses and whatnot.
I think our leader, we got some nerves coming in now.
Well, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. What do we got down there? All right, here we go.
On the hog.
We're getting down to the nitty gritty now, Donnie. You know as well as anybody that it's all fine and
Big shout
good
out
when
to
you get
Bowjunky
rolling,
Media
but
for the
when you get going along, things get a little
all the
tight.
tournaments across the nation, if you just want to follow them, Bowjunky Media keeps you up to date with all the tournament and the scoring systems as
Right.
they go.
And a 10.
A 10 for Justin.
10 for Justin Ertl. All right, here we go as the guys work their way back up the hill there.
Lucas on the Gazelle here.
Lucas
Here's
on the
Luke's
Gazelle. And 8.
Lucas.
That's going to hurt coming down the road there.
Buck.
We go Dane on that bedded buck. That looks like it's pretty close to the dot there, but
It does.
let's see what we got. Looks like it might just be a little tall, but see if you caught it. And a 10.
Dane. Good shot, buddy.
You know, I mean, talking about the technical difficulty of this uphill, side hill, you know, it's hard to maintain your form and aiming and all that stuff. It's just
There's
really
a lot
difficult.
to think about. You know, you're not just clicking a rangefinder and
And a
setting a distance.
5.
You can't just set a distance here. You've got to
Right.
Matthew Raver.
cut.
Matthew Raber.
Sasquatch down there.
Here we go. Matthew on the Bigfoot. Looks like he's just a little bit above the dot there, but let's see if that catches a 10. Oh, must have been a little higher than it looked. That's a 5 on Bigfoot for Mr. Raber. Let's go to the Bowjunky leaderboard, see how things are shaking out. Everybody, Greg Poole here. We're back at the 2020 OPA at Bowfest on Mont, joined by Donnie Thacker. This is our 5th arrow.
This is it.
And obviously, as you saw at the PSE or the Bowjunky leaderboard there, we got Justin Ertl leading out of 38. So at this point, he just needs to go out there and just basically not make a mistake. But look what target he's ending on the wolf, 67 yards. So he needs to just come out and get that done.
And not waste any time. Make a good, strong shot. It's a really good arrow on Bigfoot.
As again, I can't see what Justin Ertl did down there on that wolf, but
He looks pretty happy with it.
let's see here. So we are going to have a 6th arrow.
Anyone within 10 points.
That's apparently how Mike Pollard's running it this year. So here we go.
Justin on Sasquatch with a 10.
Justin with a 10.
He wasn't on the wolf. He was on the.
Yeah, he was on Bigfoot.
That's a very
So
good shot
originally
with a
when
lot
they
of
had
pressure.
this set up, they had him running down at the end, but they changed that up. So let's see what we got here. And a 10. 10 for Mr. Raber.
Brooke. Better buck.
With a 10.
With a 10?
Well, these guys are hitting a lot of 10s today, man.
Yeah,
All right, let's see here.
we have something really close here.
Yeah, we do.
We have Dane with a
12 for Dane.
Trying to stay within that 10.
Wow. All right, let's see what we got here. I mean, plus leading off the 2020 OPA, all the cameras and stuff being the first class up, there's going to be little extra nerves. And a bonus ring.
That's going to tie him with the lead.
Look at that. That was Lucas Johnson right there with the bonus ring, was it not?
That was.
Wow, good for him. That's Tim Gillingham's little buddy from back home there. So let's go to the Bowjunky leaderboard and see how things are looking for the 6th and final arrow in the Amateur Bowhunter here at the 2020 OPA. All right, everybody, Greg Poole here at Bowjunky Media. We're at the 2020 OPA at Bowfest on Mount Delac. This weekend's coverage brought to you by Gas Bowstrings. All right, Donnie, here we go. Amateur Bowhunter. We came down to one arrow, 6th and final arrow. We got Luke Johnson and Justin Ertl tied at 48. Then we got Brooke Neva at 45, and then we got Dam and Matt tied at 42s. So for all intents and purposes, this is a battle right now between Luke and Justin, and it's just on this, and they're shooting that turkey at about 47 yards. So right now,
Wind's blowing.
yeah,
Sun's in
right
our face.
now, you hit a 10, you probably win
That's
if you're one of those two guys.
Yep. I don't think we'll see a 14 card dropped here.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, how big is the 14 on that thing? About the size of a nickel?
About a nickel, yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't think that's really, I mean, I suppose if you're one of the guys at a 42, perhaps
You have
throw it
nothing to
down.
lose, do you?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, or you can hope for one of the 48s, 45s to, make a poor decision and slide right in there. But, we'll just have to see how things work out. I mean, they're,
Yeah.
obviously. Go ahead.
It's a slide uphill. It's hard to hold on that also. I mean,
Yeah,
look.
'cause all right, so here we go. He's getting all of his dope. Once again, although these look like Bowhunter Freestyle, for you NFAA folks, this looks like Bowhunter Freestyle stabilizers and stuff, which it is, but they are allowed to shoot slider sights. So it's more of a hybrid. More of a hybrid.
Looking at a 10-degree uphill probably and 47 yards.
Yeah, he's definitely taking his time. Mike's giving him some time to dope this in, obviously. For those of you that don't understand that reference, that just basically, explain to them, Donnie, what doping in the shot means.
Doping in, we're going to have a few cuts here. So when you shoot at an angle, whether it's uphill or downhill, you're going to have to shave yards. You're going to have to cut yardage off your sight. So the line of sight on the rangefinder is not going to be the same distance that you shoot the target for. So this game requires a lot of thinking, a lot of due diligence, checking your sight, making sure that you set your number right.
Absolutely. So, as much as there's probably people out there going, oh, just do calculus, you'll figure it right out. But the problem is everybody's peep sight, everybody's speed, everybody's calculations as far as that triangulation. Just because you may be shooting the same speed as somebody else doesn't mean you're going to cut the same, because there's a whole bunch of math involved.
And it's hard to hold uphill.
Right. Weight of arrows, helical, all those ballistic coefficients come into figuring out what that dope is. Yeah, shook his head there a little bit.
I think he's wondering, if you look at the trees back here behind everybody, he's wondering what the wind's going to do.
Right. Absolutely.
And he don't first guy up.
On this turkey, he's the guinea pig. I mean, let's just be honest. He's the one that everyone's going to gauge everything off of. So he does have 1 minute to shoot. Not sure when Mike Pollard started that. He threw down a 14.
He put out a 14. He is
He
not
just
scared.
did it. He just did it. So just like we were talking about, if you're that 42 guy, you can try to chill back and hope to fall into a third place spot, or you can gun for it and try to force the issue, and he forced the issue.
Ricky Bobby.
That looks to be just a little bit low of the 14, but that's still a pretty good shot.
Yeah,
man.
he's still going to keep it in an 8 ring, and that's
That's Dame Bems right there. That's pretty good.
I don't see anyone else shooting for a 14, but an 8's not a bad arrow.
There is another 42.
There is.
So,
There is.
so I mean, obviously it's not a yardage thing, but man, there's just not a lot of confidence shooting at that 14 uphill like that. And an 8. Well, I mean, let's be honest. If you go for a 14 and hit an 8, that's still not even that bad.
It's not.
I mean, like you were saying, the 10 on that's only about 3 inches.
At the end of the day,
All right, here we go.
Experience. You're on the main range.
Yep. All right, here we go. Matt Raber. He did not throw down a 14. All right, here we go. Matt Raber, 6th and final arrow.
Looking very confident.
That's a good solid shot. It's right on the 10-8 line at about 3 o'clock. We'll see what he got. He's right on that. Looks like he was right on that cut line, Donnie.
Matthew Raber.
10.
Good
So he
solid
got
10.
it.
Well, that's going to put him ahead of Dan Ben.
Yep. So far we got Matt at a 52 and Dame at a 50. So it's going to. This is going to be curious right here, because right now Brooke can basically with an 8 guarantee himself third.
That's right.
So how hard do you gun at this, Donnie, knowing you have third locked up? Do you want to try to make a move? I don't.
With third locked up, I'm shooting at 14. I think.
Yeah, but if he shoots a 5, then he could potentially knock himself off the podium.
You're right. That's true.
So here we go. See what he does. Oh, that's a high left arrow. We're going to have to see if that caught the 8 or not. So if he catches that 8, then
He's going to lock in third place.
he locks in third
Yep.
place. And, I just got to tell you, right there in that position, and 8. There you go. So Brooke Neva is going to be your third place finisher at the 2020 OPA here at Mont in the Amateur Bowhunter. If that's me in that position, I'm guaranteeing myself third spot. I'm cashing that check, because, you go to risk it for the biscuit, and yeah, you might be able to force those guys at 48 to make a move, but you literally also could shoot yourself off the podium.
That's true. He made a good decision.
Yeah.
Good decision. Now, here's our 2 guys that are tied at 48. So
Right.
A 5 ties them for the lead at the current.
Yep. Absolutely.
I think they're
So
aiming center 10.
Oh, there's no question. They're aiming center 10, and they're hoping to fall into a 12, I bet. Straight left.
Looks like the wind has pushed both these guys left.
Perfect height. That's several inches left. We're going to have to see what they call that, but I'll tell you what, if he dropped an 8 down there, that's going to pretty much open the door for Luke just to come in and just slam the door
10
with
to
a
win.
10. Ertl with an 8. So here you go. All Luke. And once again, Luke is Tim Gillingham's buddy from back home, so he is Gillinghammer trained.
That's right.
So, obviously you can't train for these nerves. However, because he trained, well, look at the notebook he just pulled out right there. So you can absolutely tell he's Gillingham trained.
That's Gillingham Jr., yep.
So all he needs to do right now is implement everything that Tim Gillingham has taught him. And let's be honest, dude, he just needs to get that pin around the middle of that 10 and let her rip.
That's right.
Because a
if he's
10
paid
wins
attention, Everything's blue left, so,
Yep.
so he needs to use that to his benefit. He's
We
breathing
can't
out.
feel a whole lot, but that is on the side of that hill. That could have been they could have not been checking their fluids.
That's true. That is true.
By the way, folks, checking your fluids is your bubble. Just we're archery talking out in this joint. But this is pretty exciting, man. I mean, I think it's cool of the OPA to allow these guys to to do this. All right, Luke, here we go. Here we go. And he's got the Tim Gillingham string on the end of his stabilizer. So here we go. Strains out that beat. Here we go. Luke. Bam!
Great.
That's a bonus ring right there. And look who goes running out there. It's Tim Gillingham. Luke Johnson is going to be your 2020 Amateur Bowhunter winner at the OPA. All right, everybody. Greg Poole here at Bowjunky Media, bowjunkymedia.com. We're with Luke, your winner of the 2020 OPA at Bowfest on Mount Delac. That's got to feel pretty good.
Feels amazing. A lot of hard work put in this, and I can't say enough.
All right, so coming down to that last shot, obviously Justin threw that 8 down there. All you needed was a 10 to win, and we were talking about how you are a Tim Gillinghammer prodigy. So you pulled out the book that I'm sure Tim had you carrying on the hip there. So was Tim's voice going through your head, just shoot that 10 for the win?
Yep, it's exactly what it was. Just aim a little high from the 12 and let her eat.
There you go, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.